barbers. What's going on? It's your man, it's MarvyMarv, and you are now tuned in to the Barbers Podcast, and you are tuned in to part 3 of the conversation, a dope conversation that I've been having with my guy, Will Stam. If this is your first time seeing this scenario and you haven't seen part 1 or part 2 yet, I'm going to highly recommend that you just cut this video short and go to my channel and watch part 1 and part 2, so that way you can, for 1, get all of the gems that we dropped in the first 2 parts, and then for 2, you can have some context as to what we're going to talk about in this part 3. For those of you that seen parts 1 and 2, you already know that we left off at a spot where we were about to get into Will dropping some heat, some game when it comes to retaining clients. And he was going to share some of his secrets. This is stuff you don't share with a ton of different people, but we're going to share with y'all today some of his secrets and some of the things he does to help retain clients, because as we discussed, yes, it's super important for you to go out and recruit and acquire clients, but we can't just have them come in the chair once and be done. We got to retain them, and with the goal, right, of retaining them for years and years to come. So, Will, let's talk about it, man.
Good
what
deal.
are some of the things that you do to retain your clients and help build on healthy relationships with them?
All right. The first thing I make sure I do is I value them as people. So many times I hear barbers, all they care about is the money. You can look online, you can look wherever, it's all raise your price, live your life. It's all money talk. And what that shows me is that people are actually broke because you're consumed by money. But if you actually treated your people like valuable people that they are, not only just to you, but in the world, they can feel that. And who doesn't like coming back over and over again to places or to people where they feel valued? Like, think about it like a relationship, right? If your wife doesn't feel valued or your girlfriend doesn't feel valued, does she stay around? She absolutely does not. Would you? If she didn't respect you and didn't value you and make you feel like you were the baddest man on the planet, would you be super interested in her? You would not. So I start there with just valuing people. You know, all of my attention is on them. The second thing I do is make sure that I'm on time. Nothing is more valuable to a person than their own time. People do not like their time wasted. So I make sure that I am on time. The next thing I do is my clients know this. If they call me, even though I do online appointments, if they call me, I always answer, and they do not get off the phone without having a solution to their problem. If they're like, yo, bro, I got a wedding coming up or something, a meeting or something, I am automatically thinking in my mind, how can I make this work? Even if I got to go back to the shop later, I do it, right? If whatever it is, they'll pay me more money, whatever, because they respect my professionalism. But I do not let them get off the phone wondering like, damn, how am I going to get a haircut? You know how many barbers I've heard, hey, bro, I'm booked. Sorry, can't do nothing about it. That seems cool, right? And it seems like it might be reality. But it's not good to have people feel unvalued. And when you tell somebody, hey, man, you got to figure it out. Should have booked in advance. Not my problem. They don't feel valued. So then they end up looking for another situation. They get frustrated. They get irritated. They're going to start searching because of how you made them feel. People don't care what you say. They don't care what you do. They care about how you made them feel. So I always make sure I solve their problem. Now, if the same person keeps calling me habitually to go off schedule to cut them, then we're going to have a different dialogue. But we all know that's not the case. Sometimes people just have stuff come up. I'm dealing with pros, man. I got guys that are online with influencer deals and have to do photo shoots and this and this and that. I cannot be unreliable for them. They may have a weekly haircut. I can't give them an excuse. Oh, the kids is sick. Oh, I'm not feeling good today. Stayed out late last night. I'm always on point for my people. And just like how I treat them is how they treat me. They show up on time. I don't have that problem with clients coming habitually late. I don't have those issues because I don't do that. So whatever you want from people is what you should give them first. I want people to chase me down to get a haircut. So anytime they call me, guess what they get? A haircut. I'm not on this, I need my time and all that. No, you schedule your time and they'll respect that. If you respect your own business, they're going to respect it too. But you are going to get those calls. And when you go the extra mile, they pay you more money and they love you. They refer people to you. They swear you're like the next best thing since sliced bread. So make sure you do that. Another thing is try to find ways to incentivize them. Make them feel like they're part of it. If they feel like they're part of you building your shop, they're going to stay a part of your shop. That helps with retention. I have people I don't even cut anymore, but because they love the person I am and the character I've shown them over 10 years, they come to my shop. They're like, look, this is where I go. You engulf them in the culture. Make them feel like they're a part of what you're building. Constantly thank them for patronizing your business. You know, a thank you goes a long way. We only say thank you to people who tip us. But listen, a person may have gave you their last they had. Sometimes you just got to do that. Sometimes if a person is messed up or got laid off, I give them a free haircut because I value them. I don't have to get money every single time I do something. Sometimes it just feels good to me to be in a position to be able to show a sense of gratitude and an action of gratitude, which ultimately gets you more. So you don't have to be compensated for everything. That leads me into adding extra things. You know, you might have a person, you may be having dialogue with them, they never had a hot towel on their face. You can put that on, some hot lather, change the experience up. In the same time frame that you have, it may be different than what they got at the last spot. That increases your retention ratio. So just valuing people, under promising, over delivering is a major, major key.
I love it. It's game.
It's big game.
A lot of gems. If you guys feel like you're getting value from this video, make sure you smash that like button, right? And click the subscribe button too, because listen, this is what we're doing on this channel. A lot of game. And make sure you're following Will on all social media platforms. All right, Will Stam, you see it on the screen. Mm-hmm. I do want to add on to that, right? Yeah. I feel like that was a lot of game, super helpful. But regardless of all that, there does come times where clients decide to take their business elsewhere, right? Mm-hmm. They decide to go and for whatever reason, they have another barber, right? They choose another barber. Yeah. And what I would like to say to that is, bruh, stop taking some of that so personal.
No. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, this is what we do have to understand. We are working to build these solid relationships with people, right? Like some of these people do become like family, right? But at the same time, there is that degree of the simple fact that it's a business relationship, mm-hmm. and people are spending their money, and mm-hmm. people are entitled to spend their money with whoever they want, wherever they want, right? Mm-hmm. When we enter into this relationship with a client, bro, we're not entering into a marriage.
Right.
Like, they did not sign no paperwork that said, till death do us part.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to stop with all that getting offended stuff, right? Yeah. Because it bothers me, bro, when I'm
going to touch on that when you finish.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to let you rock, right? It bothers me when I'll cut somebody for 3 years or something like that, and they decide to go somewhere else. And a lot of times you don't know why, right? Maybe they got offended at something you did, you don't know. Maybe there's something in their hair, you don't know. Maybe your clippers were overlapping, you didn't know you cut them. Yeah. You don't know. Maybe they just couldn't get in with you. They tried somebody else, they liked them better. You don't know a lot of times, right? Mm-hmm. So what bothers me as a barber is when I go to Walmart and I see somebody that I cut for 3 years, had some really good conversations with, and had some good time with, and they like avoid me because our culture will make them feel crazy, right? Barbers will be like, yo, bro, what's up? Where you been? What, you don't love me no more? Oh, who jacking you up?
You cheating on me?
Yeah, you cheating on me. And it's like, bro, no, like, nah, it's not like, I get it, bro. We had a good relationship. Like, to me, I still want to have that. It's all right. I ain't cutting your hair. Cool. Maybe there'll come a time I'll cut your hair again. I've had clients like that. I'm sure you have. I haven't seen them for a while. They come back, right? Yeah. So I think as a culture, barbers, we got to stop taking some of this stuff so personal. People can spend their money where they want, with who they want, whenever they want. Your clients are not signing paperwork to marry you. And I know Will is itching to drop some game. So, Will, what do you got to say to that?
I love that point you just made. It is a part of my culture. If you join my shop, I make that very clear to you. Do not take the rights away from the customer. Barbers like, oh, that's my client. No, it is not. Focus on who is in your chair and let the people go where they need to go. At the end of the day, they may be going to somebody else. It may be a convenience thing. They may just need a haircut right then and there. Something came up, whatever. They may have to choose somebody else because you're busy. Especially when you get busy, this happens a lot, right? Or they just may like somebody else's vibe, somebody else's demeanor. It's just an attraction thing where they're just like, yo, like, I like my man because he liked the, team I like. Or,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? LeBron is his
The
guy.
music I
LeBron
like.
is my guy.
Yeah.
We like the same rappers, or we play the same video games, or whatever is the connecting piece that just makes them make a move. Allow them that. This is a true story. Last week, I was in my barbershop, and I was just in there grabbing something. And one of my guys was in there cutting hair, and the line he was cutting, I was like, all right, bro, just make sure you lock the door when you leave out. And he was like, all right, I got you. Make sure I got my key. So the guy in his chair was like, wait. That's the owner. And he was like, yeah. So he called me back, and I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Like, I'm thinking, barbershop owner, I'm thinking this must be a complaint. You got a bad service or something, right? And he's like, yo, man, I just want to tell you, great job. And I'm like, why is that? And he's like, this ain't your regular barbershop. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? I was like, give me an example. He was like, man, I come in here, I went to this guy, he did a good job. And now I'm over here going to this guy, he did a good job. I've been coming here about 6-7 weeks now. And he was like, man, I deal with rappers and entertainers, and I would never take them in any of these barbershops around Atlanta because they, it's so crazy. Like, I was in one like 2 months ago, and a SWAT team came in. And he was like, this is just
Imagine
barber
that.
culture, right? He's like, when I come in here, these people are nice, friendly, it's clean. It's women in here with kids. Nobody's disrespecting them. It doesn't feel like a Shark Tank. And then he was just like, and then I went to this guy, and he was like, hey, man, next time you come in, if you can't get me, you can see any one of the other guys, man. It's all love. And he was like, that was so powerful to me. He said, because you go to barbershops, and it's like, once you go to one guy, if you want to change, you got to switch barbershops entirely.
It's crazy, bro.
So when you have that mentality as a barber, that, yo, that's my client, this and this and that, you are literally cutting off your own legs. Because you think you own another grown man. You do not. You don't really own anything, really. So it's like, yo, you need to allow people that freedom, man, to be able to come, and it's a major culture builder inside of a shop. I will fire somebody if you act like that in my business.
I love it. And culture, let's tap into that real quick. Culture in the shop. What do you think a healthy culture looks like for a barber to be in? Right?
Okay.
So how does a barber that's watching this know whether or not they're in a healthy environment for a barber?
I would tell you, number one thing is go in there and experience it yourself, right? Your experience is not going to lie to you, right? When you come in, how it is for you is most likely how it is. And then the other thing I would say is check the leadership, check the resume. Who's the owner? Who's the manager? Who are the leaders in there? And what does their resume look like? How do they treat you? How do they act when things don't necessarily go that way? And then is there a growth culture? Are people in there happy? Are they growing? If they're happy and they're growing, then you probably will be happy and growing too. And at the end of the day, that's all we want. So make sure the leadership is strong, because the leadership is going to determine the height of the growth. If the leadership is good, the growth is good, you probably are pretty solid.
Okay, great. How does a barber know when it's time to be out? Let's say a barber's in a shop, right? And they're at that crossroads where they're not sure if they want to stay or go, right? Because there's the barbers that may be thinking about leaving that are in a good environment, right? But they're just doing some things wrong within themselves or how they're conducting themselves, and maybe it's just like, all right, we got to fix you, and then you're really going to blossom here. But then there's the barbers that may be a young Will, a young Marv, and they're in an environment where they're like, I don't know, this don't seem right. Like, how long do I stay? Do I stay loyal to the shop, or do I be out? When in your mind is that final straw where it's like, all right, you should probably look somewhere else? What are some of the signs a barber should look for to know it's time to be out?
All right, so it's a couple things, right? For the barber, you're always going to check the environment, right? But you have to also check, is this internal, this issue, or is it external? A lot of times we like to blame others, right, when we're not right on the inside. So we'll start saying the environment's bad, this is bad, I don't like this, I don't like that. Sometimes it can be true, because leadership in the barber industry is very, very lacking. So 9 out of 10 barbershops, probably the leadership is probably a problem. So you probably have a strong point, like, yo, you know what, I need to move on. But I want barbers to be careful with this. I don't want you to just make a lateral move for change's sake. Change at times is growth, and change can be good. But if you're just changing for change's sake, you probably are going to go backwards, because you're not addressing the real problem. And the real problem is most likely internal. What I was told by a barbershop owner that fired me one day, He said, Will, wherever you go, you got to take yourself with you. So you always have to do a self-evaluation first. Am I working as hard as I can work? Am I getting to the shop on time? Am I on time for my clients? Am I marketing myself? You have to take a self-evaluation sheet first. If you're not doing those, do those first, then start looking external. If you're doing those and you're having problems and your clients are letting you know, like they're the ones telling you like, yo, man, like the bathroom dirty, you know what I'm saying? It's falling apart, chairs ripped up, and you can see that the leadership and ownership isn't investing in the business, then that's a problem. And if you're trying to grow, you need to be in an environment where growth is the expectation, not just pay me my money and figure it out. So you want to do the inside work first. You should always be doing that. That's an everyday thing. But then I would say either monthly or quarterly, evaluate where you are, you know, and look at what is going on. And you have to track everything so you know. Because you may have a slow day and all of a sudden the shop is in bad shape. But then when you're popping, it's all you. It can't be two sides of the coin like that. If it's slow days, you got to own those. Busy days, if you're going to own them, you own the slow ones too, and vice versa. So if you feel like you're growing there and it's a growth environment and growth is expected and it's encouraged and it's and you're getting help from the people around you, you're probably okay. If you're not getting those, it might be time to move on.
I love it, bro.
Yeah.
And I want to end our conversation with this.
Yeah.
I want to leave them with some game, bro.
Got you.
For that person that's hearing this
Yeah.
and is thinking like, yo, I do just want to be the best barber I can be.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, I just really want to be the best person I could be, the best human I could be, the best businessman I could be, the best, husband I could be, or the best wife I could be, or the best mom I could be, right? There's the barber that's paying attention to this that really wants to grow and blossom, right?
Right.
Now, what are some of the things that you think they should do? What are some of the things they should focus on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're at Funnel Hacking Live right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's some people here that are trying to grow. So one of the things I obviously am going to say for y'all watching this is get to events like this because the energy is just, it's insane, right? And you put yourself around just energy that forces you to level up. You ain't got no choice when you're in a building like this. And for those of you that have been a Funnel Hacking Live, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you that haven't, I'm telling you, come to this event and you will see what I'm talking about. You will feel what I'm talking about, right?
For sure.
So coming to big events where there's a lot of good energy, that's something they could do to help them blossom. What are some other things that you recommend they do?
Number one is personal development. I've committed my last probably 10 years of my life to just being the best Will I could possibly be. And I didn't know what that was going to entail, but it allowed me to take advantage of so many opportunities because I was always working on myself, getting better, learning, doing different things. So when opportunities came, I didn't miss the ice cream truck. Opportunities are like the ice cream truck. They'll come right past your house, right past your face, right past your everyday life. But if you're not prepared, you will miss it. You may even have the money, but if you got to run upstairs to get it or run in the back to get it or ask mom for it or whoever, you're going to miss the opportunity. So personal development allows you to see things further down the line by just continually growing yourself that you're able to prepare and take advantage of it. I think it was Oprah Winfrey who said, success is when preparation meets opportunity. And Jim Rohn also said, formal education to make you a living and self-education to make you a fortune. These dudes are highly successful and women are highly successful at what they do. They wouldn't tell you a lie. And here's the last gem that I'm going to leave you with is we've all probably heard the first part. I just want to make sure you got the last part. And it's a wise person or smart person learns from his mistakes. A wise person learns from the mistakes of others. But the wisest person of all learns from the successes of other people. So as Marv was talking about, an event like this, ClickFunnels Live, there's a lot of highly successful people here teaching you how they became successful. That is what the wisest people do. They don't have to wait to make a mistake or learn from somebody else's mistake. They can just go learn from the people who got it right now. So go get that type of game, and you'll run circles around your competition.
I love it, man. And just to piggyback off of that a little bit, like Will said, personal development. If you like to read books, get into that personal development space. Maybe you haven't ever read a book, right? I know most of y'all watching probably never read a book. To be honest, I'm 36 years old. I didn't start reading until my later 20s, all right? So
I read my first book at 25.
yeah, so it's never too late to start reading, right? So start reading some books. Search, the top personal development books, self-development books. See what pulls you, all right?
Yeah.
And read some of those books, right? Get yourself around people that are empowering you and are supporting you and are encouraging you and are helping you, right? Get to the events around this type of energy. There's some great barbering events you can get to. There's some great events outside the industry you can get to. And do your best to create an environment that is helping you blossom. All right, when you guys are scrolling on social media, I get it. The drama and stuff could be entertaining, right? But there's a lot of good, helpful stuff on these social media platforms, man. Like, consume that, right? Like, it's garbage in, garbage out, right?
Yeah.
You want to make sure you're putting good stuff into your mental, into your mind. People ask me all the time, bro, how do you stay motivated? Number one, I don't. Right? Will tell you we're not motivated more than we're motivated. Trust me, right? We're human, right? But the fact is we do what we feel we know we need to do regardless of how we feel about it, right? So even if we're not motivated, we're going to take action. Us taking that action typically then will motivate us, right? So the same thing can happen with y'all. Just do something. Make a little bit of movement. Next thing you know, you're going to feel a little bit more motivated. But another way I motivate myself, I always tell people this, is I brainwash myself, bro.
Yeah, me too.
I'm watching motivational speakers, right? I'm reading self-improvement, personal development books.
Audio books,
right? You don't like to read, listen to it. You in the car, bro, like, right?
The mobile classroom. The mobile classroom is so powerful, man. And just being at this event, and you can never consume enough of these quotes and these impactful little gems, because I was sitting there and one of the guys shared a quote from Serena Williams, and he was like, there are days where I don't feel like working out, but there is no day where I feel like losing. That's so powerful, because it's like, even when you don't feel like promoting yourself, you don't feel like going to the shop, you don't feel like doing whatever it is that your objective is there ever a time where you feel like losing is okay?
It's a fact.
That's the conversation you need to have with the man in the mirror. Barbers, we're crazy. We're around mirrors all day, and we never look in them at ourselves. We look in them to see somebody else. And if we can fix that and consume positivity and transformational thoughts, you change your thinking, you change your life. You probably heard that 1,000 times.
Yeah, and a lot of you guys watching, I know you want to be millionaires, right? I know y'all all tune. Hit the like button if you want to be a millionaire, right? And again, they dropped some game at this event, and a lot of good quotes. And one of the quotes that they dropped was, you can't have $1 million dream with a $2 work ethic. You know what I'm saying? And the way I put my spin on it, because I'm like, I like that, I got to change a little bit. I said, you can't have $1 million dream with 1 million excuses. You know what I'm saying? So just take some of that, what we said. I know you guys are probably thinking now, some stuff's going through your head. And, really think about what you've heard in this video, and hopefully you've watched parts 1 and 2. If you haven't seen parts 1 and 2 of this, I highly recommend you go back and rewatch them. And the things that resonate with you, that make sense to you, act on some of those things, man. Make the changes you feel you need to make, and do the things you know you need to do, regardless of how you feel that day or in that moment. Like, do what you know you need to do. All right, that's what's going to make the biggest difference, right? The super successful people do what they know they need to do regardless of how they feel about it, where the average person only does what they know they need to do when they feel like doing it. All right, so there's some changes y'all need to make in your life. They're not going to be comfortable. They're not supposed to be. If they were comfortable, you would have already made the changes, right? But that feeling of uncomfort but you knowing that you're doing the right thing is the spot you want to be in, because what's going to happen is you are going to become the person you need to become, and that pain and uncomfort is going to help create that version of you that you need to be in order to get to that level you're trying to get to. So, Will, is there anything you want to add before we wrap up our 3-part conversation? I feel like it's full of a lot of gems. You know what I'm
I want to
saying?
just say this one thing, man. Whatever it is you want, you can do it.
It's a
Like
fact.
I mean, like you have to grow into the person capable of it, and that might not be who you are today. But if you grow and you make an effort to grow, life, that's the only guarantee of future success is the internal development. It's the only way. If you're not growing internally, your future externally doesn't look very bright. So start today. You can be whatever you want if you're willing to do the work. Life is a journey. It's not a sprint. Just work on yourself and get a little bit better each day, man, and you can do whatever it is that you can think of.
Yeah. The universe rewards the doers.
Yes.
Do it. All right?
Fortune
Do it.
favors the bold.
Yes. The universe rewards the action takers, bro. You know what I mean? Like, do it. Take the action. All right? Then analyze. Look at what you did. If it's working, keep doing it. If it's not, adjust. But then do something else. Just keep doing
Pivot.
it.
That's what they call in the business world, pivot. Just
You know
pivot.
what I'm saying? Pivot, adjust, do, analyze, do, analyze. Just as that's the game. Do
Yeah.
it, analyze. This right here, right? We're recording this. We're in the middle of Funnel Hacking Live, right? We're gonna do this. I'm gonna put this out, right? You guys are gonna see this, my man, right? And what you guys are gonna see is this. You're gonna enjoy it because I know it's full of a lot of gems. But then the critic in me, right? Seeing as this is my channel and this is the Barbers Podcast, I'm going to look at it, I'm going to analyze it, and I'm going to work to improve it. But the only way that is going to be able to happen is just because we did it today. Like if me and Will just talked about this and didn't do this, and I just thought about it, he thought about it, we'd never be able to improve it and make
We're
it better.
maximizing the value of the time we have in the same spot.
Barbers. So, Will, appreciate you,
man.
dog.
Yep.
Always.
No
Guys,
doubt.
if you haven't done so already, again, make sure you hit the like button. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let us know what you thought about this video. If you haven't seen the previous 2, go watch them. Go to my channel. You'll see parts 1 and parts 2. Check out all the resources I got in my description. I got some free resources for you guys, for beginner barbers, for you guys that want to learn social media and stuff like that. Just check out the description. You'll see a bunch of links to some free stuff and some products that you can buy. You know I got this shirt, Barbering is My Religion. You know what I mean? If you feeling like barber's your religion, make sure you pick this up. And make sure you follow Will Stam. You see it on the screen on all social media platforms to stay up to date with what he's got going on. And he's an open book, man. You guys got questions and stuff like that, don't hesitate to reach out to him.
For sure. Just hit me up. I try to respond to everybody.
Barbers. So until next time, keep chasing greatness, and we'll tap in with you soon. Can I get it one time? Let me hear your best barbers!
Jump the hollow with the
Can I get a barbers? Barbers!